Okay. Now it says we're live. And if I just blew your eardrums out, I do apologize for that. We had to migrate. I'm gonna check the live feed here. Let's see. I don't see the chat. All right, chat's not working. Let's see what we can do here. I'm still learning OBS, or not OBS, but Streamlabs. So yeah, sorry about the confusion hopping between chat rooms, live streaming rooms. It's really confusing how YouTube does it because you can set it up as like an event, right? So you tell YouTube when you want to go live, which is what we just did, and it kind of counts down to that. But you have to use a separate stream key, or I can use my dedicated live stream key for the channel, which basically goes live the moment I click the live button in my streaming service, in this case Streamlabs. So I'm not sure why you guys can't see the chat is working. No, I know the chat's working, but the chat is supposed to show up in this box right here. So this box, you're supposed to see your chat, and it's not working. By the way, if someone subscribes or someone donates, you should see something pretty cool. If it doesn't work, it's just gonna be a big letdown. But I see that the view counter is working on the top left, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's so many things in here that you think you got it set up right, and then it's not set up right, and then by the time you go live, it's too late to fix most of this stuff. So I'm more or less just kind of learning as we go here, and yeah, this is a clean cut Greg. I actually cut my own hair. I don't know if you guys know that, but I do cut my own hair. That's just something that, yeah, you see that right there? Is that cool or what? I think that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I'm watching two separate live streams with myself. One is extremely delayed and the other one isn't. I just want to make sure that all that stuff is working out. I think that's so cool. I'm sorry. I think it's cool. Oh, there he goes. Wait, the super chat. That should work. I'm not saying the super chat. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, come on, you guys. You know that's pretty sweet. I just think that is so cool. I mean, that's one of the benefits of going with Streamlabs, is that you can kind of like, it's like OBS and then some, and they've done a pretty good job doing this. So yeah, what I've done basically is thrown in a bunch of Crash Bandicoot references because it's basically my favorite game of all time. The subscriber thing's probably going to get old. I might end up turning that off. I'm not sure how many subscribers we'll get from a live stream anyway, so that might not be as ideal in the long run. I just wanted to see it kind of in action. So if you guys are unsubscribing and then resubscribing, you're really going to throw us off, and I'll have to disable it. So please don't do that. This is more or less, it's just, this is for people who are new. And I say that, I'm sure a few of you are going to end up doing that anyway. But thank you for the donations, my dudes. I'm not sure why your notification came in twice, White Monster. It's really weird. But thank you, Troll. Thank you, White Monster, for those $2 donations. I appreciate that. Can I get a shout out? Beccano, what going on, dude? Audio volume going up and down? Is it just you? It's probably not just you, but I'm talking pretty normal in here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, I'm working on the chat. I'm trying to get the chat box to show up. It's showing. Oh, I know what it is, you guys. There we go. I got you now. Oh, but it's disappearing so quick. You guys can see it now, right? I had the actual background image on top of the chat box, which is pretty stupid, so I'm sorry about that. But it is there now, so you should be able to see it. That's pretty cool. And it looks like the messages are loading correctly. They're disappearing pretty quick, though. Yeah, I'm not sure why the audio is going up and down like that. That's really weird. Let's see if I can fix it. Your boy gonna fix this. And it is coming from this too. Maybe? Yeah, I know people. I know the audio's going up and down. I don't know what's going on with that though. Let's see if that does anything. I might just have to talk quieter, and just hope that it doesn't hit you guys really hard. I'm not sure why it's doing that, so that's really concerning. Anyway, the microphone he has right here, and I'm just, you know, Bobby, it has nothing to do with my hand around my mouth, my dude. Does that make you feel powerful? You want to tell me to take my hand away from my mouth? What if I do this the whole chat? Oh yeah, just like this. I'm sure this really bothers you, doesn't it? Actually, kind of unsanitary. Please don't do that. I'm not sure if me moving. I see it louder now. I'm not sure if I move closer to the microphone, if that's gonna fix it though. Let's see here. I'm gonna swing this around. It's kind of awkward because it's going above the monitor. Yeah, I mean it's really not gonna get much closer than that, to be honest, you guys. But that's really all I got. I'll slide it right here. No, that looks weird. That looks really weird. Yeah. I'll try to hang out like this, and then I'll just swing this window over. That way I can look forward directly into the camera. I'm sorry about the ups and downs. If you guys are hearing audio peaks and troughs, that's just what we're gonna have to deal with right now. Let me see. You guys are saying that the video looks a little fuzzy. See if I can fix that. Nope, that was bad. There we go. That's about as good as it's gonna get, folks. Like, I'm just using a webcam here. This is not meant to be professional in any way. This is just me. I don't even know why I have these on. By the way, if the Crash Bandicoot sounds get annoying, let me know. I can turn those down or just disable them completely. But I did want to give you guys, a chance to be featured somewhat on the live stream. I feel bad that I had a chat open and people were there waiting for an hour or so, and then I had to migrate over to the general chat. But at least this way, you all can be seen in the chat, so I'll have a chance to look at your questions. If you have some, I will be happy to answer them. This is a Q&A. You can ask me whatever you'd like. I'm not going to guarantee that I can answer it. I might not be able to answer some questions for either just, personal reasons. Maybe I don't want to reveal certain things about myself, just because I don't think that some of that stuff belongs on the channel, to be frank. But if you have anything tech related, you want to know, you can ask personal questions, but don't make them weird, you guys. Like, don't make them weird, because then I just have to keep saying no, and then I feel really bad. We have about 140 people watching right now. I appreciate that. The audio is going to duck, Chris. Nothing I can do about it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I see DC or Marvel Game Master. That's like that's it's got to be Marvel, man, because Iron Man. That's the only reason why, is because Iron Man. Let's see. Where did you meet your girlfriend? She's actually my wife, Deadpool. She's not my girlfriend anymore. We got engaged a while back, and then we got not hitched, but we got married, and that's basically the start of this process of figuring out where we're going to live. It's really difficult. If I wanted to move to Germany, it would be just as difficult as if she wanted to move here, although you might think it's harder to move here in the States. It's just immigration in general is a pain. So that is something that we're going to be working on in the time being. But she's right now back in Germany because she's just on a regular visa right now. So regular travel and difficulties ahead. But I am a lucky man to call that woman my life, or my wife. She is my life, but she's my wife, and I'm very fortunate, and she makes me really happy. We can't hear the Crash Bandicoot sounds. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. We see David Ouellet. I don't know if I said that right. Just a quick question. I bought a pre-built last year. It came with some good parts, but I'm wondering if it'd be worth replacing the stock 32 gigs of DDR4 memory with faster RAM. No, don't bother. RAM's too expensive right now. You're perfectly fine with what you got. Are you a dog or cat person? All right, Shannon, this is a really difficult question for me because I have both a dog, or dogs, and a cat, and I can see both sides of the argument, right? Cats are super chill. They have a litter box, and that's basically it. Dogs require more upkeep, but they're also more personal animals, so they show you more love and affection in most cases. But I'm kind of lazy when it comes to maintenance and like I try to keep things clean, but I don't like having to constantly clean up the same thing over and over. And for that reason, I think I would have to choose a cat, because while cleaning the litter box sucks, you only have to do that once. I don't know how long you have to do it, like once every day, every other day. But with a dog, you gotta take the dog out every 3 or 4 hours,
and that to me is just a little too much. If I could potty train a dog, that'd be pretty dope, though. I think that would be when I would probably opt for a dog over a cat. That's weird. Addicted PC says the audio leveled out after you took off the headset. That's super strange because the headset's off. Like, that mic's disabled. So that doesn't really make sense, but if that's what happened, I don't know. Are we going to get more car reviews? More than likely. I'm currently selling my S5. I have a couple buyers that might come out this weekend to buy it, and then I'm actually have been looking for a couple weeks now for a new ride. I want to step up my game big time. I want to go to either an M4, a Q60S Red Sport, maybe if I considered a sedan, it would be maybe an Audi S6 or an Audi S6. That would be the only one I love those 4-liter twin turbo engines. You can do so much with them, and just a simple ECU flash will get you 100+ horsepower and torque on both sides. So those are really nice cars, all of those. I really like the M4 though. I think the M4 is the best of everything. It's like just a total step up from the S5 in all respects, and you can easily shell out 500 horsepower and 500, 600 foot-pounds of torque from just an ECU flash. It basically remaps the O2 sensor, how much air gets pushed into the engine, and that it basically changes your air-fuel mixture ratios and will give you more power if you have more air to burn. Bigger explosion, more power, pushes on the pistons, and there you go, more torque, more horsepower. M5 would be nice, too bad the AMG version. You mean AMG? You mean, well, that's Mercedes, my dude. Maybe you mean the AMG equivalent? I'm not sure. I like Mercedes. Mercedes are nice too, but I think that I think I would rather go with Audi over Mercedes. They're more classy, but they're not as sporty unless you go into the S class, and by that point you're spending $50,000. So yeah. Let's see. What do we have here? Is OBS better than Hangouts Live? Yeah, I mean, you can do more with OBS. I'm using Streamlabs OBS, which is even better than OBS in my opinion. I don't use OBS for anything other than streaming. Some people record their screens with OBS. I just think that's a little too much. Too much overhead, right? CPU utilization. I use Shadowplay for the most part. Of course, when I benchmark, though, I turn all that off. So when you guys see like clips of me in-game, right, and I'm showing a benchmark simultaneously, that is not the exact same thing as the benchmark statistics that you're seeing in the graphs or what have you. I usually record those after the fact so as to not, induce some sort of frame rate dip as a result of the screen being recorded. And I don't use a capture card because I have a capture card, and I don't really see the point in it unless you want to use like a dedicated video source that's not a webcam that doesn't plug directly into your PC. I have really no use for one. OBS or XSplit. I've never used XSplit, so I really can't comment on that. I want to change one thing about the chat box. I noticed that it's only like the messages are only really lasting like what, 4 or 5 seconds. So hide messages after. Let's see, always show messages. All right, let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, so the chat now. Yeah, that's nice. So now you guys can see your chats the whole time. They won't just disappear as a result of, the time expiring. Mark Gonzalez, thank you for that $5 donation or $4.99 donation. You're shorting me a penny. I appreciate that, though. I won't take that penny shortage to heart. Will you be doing any reviews on the new NZXT Kraken 120mm M22 in the future? So they have the M22, right? And then don't they have that now, that new 360mm rad? The X72, is that, I think that's, no, it's 82. I don't remember what it is. There's a 360mm AIO Kraken, and they also have the M22. And I really want to check out both. I have right here the NZXT case with the build inside. And here, I'll go ahead and just swing it around so you guys can see it, kind of. But yeah, it's not going to give me any more than that. But that's the case, and I have a Deep Cool Captain 240, or actually that's a 360mm AIO in there. And I have not taken it out because I think it looks really good. The only thing I would change this for is a Kraken, and the only reason why I would do that is because it would keep an NZXT theme, and I think they have pretty cohesive components that would look really nice in there. Can you give your personal opinion on when the new cards will come out? From Rusty. Not too sure. I mean, if we look at if we look back, a couple years, I'm pretty sure Pascal architecture was announced at. Let's see. I'm actually curious when that was. I'm pretty sure it was the middle of 2016. Let's see. Sorry if that keyboard is like totally messing you guys up. Yeah, so May 6, 2016 is when they announced it, and they were released on May 27th. So if we're looking at that timeline, we should expect these to be announced at around Computex time, which is going to be like late May, early June. So that'll be pretty awesome to look forward to if we do hear from Nvidia anytime soon, and we expect that we will. I mean, we're sitting on 2-year-old architecture by this point. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, right? The channel only started just shortly before Pascal architecture was announced, but that's really cool. We have another question. Day Kim asks how old I am. I am 23. I will be 24 in October. In your opinion, who is the best case manufacturer? It really depends. I have a video about my favorite case. If you want to look at it from that perspective, I think Fractal Design has my favorite case. In terms of like the overall case designs, like who does it best, I really can't put my seal of approval, if you will, on any of them, because I think that some manufacturers have. I don't think there's any manufacturer that does it right in every case, right? There's always something to point out that is either negative or something I would personally change. And so for that reason, I can't really point out a specific company and say, hey, this looks really good, but this doesn't look really good, so I'm going to say that you're the best company anyway. Like, I can't really do that. I don't think there's a company out there that is without sin, is what I should say. I think all of them mess up in some regard. And that's just the learning experience, right? That's why reviewers like myself exist, because we are, in a sense, trying to represent our viewers, trying to represent our own views based on our experiences with multiple cases in the past. So they listen to us to an extent, which is an honor. And at the same time, look, they want to drive sales. They want to make sales. So if they really care, they're going to listen to their audience. I try my best to represent the audience. If you guys point out something that I didn't mention in a case review, I'll do my best to bring it up in the next review, because it's such a big deal to a lot of you. So that's what I try to do. Let's see here. I got you. Oh yeah. Boom. There we go. When did you first start working on PCs? I built PCs. I didn't build PCs. I would tear down old PCs. My dad would bring them home. My dad's an electrical engineer. He would bring them home and disassemble them. Or not disassemble. He would bring them home and let me disassemble them. So I would tear them all apart. When I was really young, I was like 6, 7 years old. I would know how to put them back together. I would literally take everything apart. He would take the power supply from me, though. He wouldn't let me get inside that. I can see why now. But I would tear it all down to scrap and then just kind of call it quits. I wouldn't know how to put it back together. That took me a while. And then after that, I never really saw the viability in a desktop computer for myself until I got into college. And then that's when the channel started blowing up. When people saw that we were building PCs, that was a pretty hot topic. So I stuck with that. And that's why we are where we are today, and why we're talking about what we're talking about in these videos. Let's see, Demon Dog 74 asks, I'd like to build a silent computer like the one you featured in January. Okay, I remember what you're talking about. But in a case, whoops, hold on, I gotta scroll up. But in a case like the Manta that you featured back in July, would those be quiet CPU coolers fit in that case? You'll have to check the height. You have to just do the math really quick, compare the dimensions. The NZXT website will have a CPU cooler clearance, spec sheet section. Just make sure that the cooler you use is not too big. The top flow one like I use, though, I'm pretty sure that'll fit. You just have to check RAM clearance and other things, because that cooler is literally the size of an ITX motherboard. Just to make sure that you have clearance elsewhere on the board. I would be more worried about that than the other stuff. All right, I am scrolling through. Let's see, what do we have? Mr. Salazar, why are you racist toward air cooling? I use air coolers. I use them a lot. My silent build had an air cooler in it. Like, that's, I don't know if you're trolling, but I really appreciate air coolers. And they're peace of mind, right? The only thing I can break on an air cooler is the fan for the most part.
I see a question from Minda. I am a 14-year-old kid, and I have money to build a PC. My father says he will not let me build a PC because he doesn't trust I'll do a good job, and tells me just to buy pre-built. Oh, sad face. You know what you should do? I know you're 14 years old, but if it's your money that you've saved up, you should go out and buy the parts anyway. Build it, impress him, and then maybe he'll take back what he said. I'm not asking you to fight your parents, but if it's your money and you're allowed to do what you want with it, that's within your legal rights, then I would just source the parts anyway and build one yourself and say, hey, Dad, look what I did. You might impress them. You never know. We have a question from Joseph Mason. I'm swapping out my CPU and motherboard in my PC for the first time. I am going to run into issues trying to boot Windows from the same hard drive I had it installed on originally. Okay, so it really depends on the platform. You're going to have a performance drop when you switch platforms, period. But the degree to which you experience those drops in frame rates and just overall, CPU utilization will depend on where you're going and what you're coming from. So if you switch from like AMD FX 6300 to Intel Coffee Lake, and you keep the same drive from your FX PC and throw it into your Coffee Lake build, and you kind of let Windows update drivers and stuff before it boots into the OS for the first time, you're still going to have performance loss, noticeable performance loss. So you might be wondering why you're not getting the frame rate you should expect, why other people are getting higher frame rates than you are. The reason why is because you're probably the reason why is because there are so many. Basically, there are a lot of things embedded on in that drive that are going to conflict with drivers that don't override when those new drivers install upon first booting your new system. A clean wipe of your drive is going to be the best bet. I would transfer sensitive info first before you do that, because it's really difficult to migrate data without performance loss. It really is. All right, I am scrolling up here. Don't worry, guys. I'm trying to filter out the trolls. I'm just outright blocking them so they'll never come back to the channel. Here we go. Here we go. What do we have here? McLovin the Panhandle. Do you guys see McLovin? I see him. Where is Will? I don't know where Will is actually. We talk usually once a day or once every other day, but today I was pretty busy. I never sent him a message or anything, so I'm not sure what he's up to right now. Jeez, it's 6:32 a.m. here, Crystal Eyes says. Well, look, I'm really sorry, but I can't go live at the most opportune time for everybody because time zones exist and the Earth is a sphere. It's not flat. I hate to break it to you. So I can't please everybody. Jacob says, what's up? You guys see McLovin there. Go give his channel a shout out. Or no, I'm giving your channel a shout out, but go give his channel some support. He needs it. He needs to get motivated to making videos again. He was good at what he did, and I wish he would do it more often. It's good to see you, Jacob. Let's see, we got a $10 donation from my dude Kenny D. Where'd that coming from? My dude, you did not have to do that, and if you did feel like you wanted to, you should have at least asked a question. I encourage you guys, if you want to donate, ask a question at least, so you feel like you're getting some of your money back, right? In a form of information or information. I said that really weird, or whatever. But thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. We have, let's see, All Time Tech. If I boot into Android on my desktop and play PUBG Mobile with keyboard and mouse, is it cheating? If you could find a way to do that. I haven't actually looked into it, but I'm sure it's possible. That would be pretty sweet. The Earth is not flat. My life was a lie. Jacob wants to ride naked into the mall. Can you do me a favor, Jacob, and please change your profile picture? Like, it's just the most cringy thing ever. Oh, it's so bad. Have you ever tried the Elgato Cam Link? Do you think you'll make a review on it? I have not tried it. I honestly haven't. But I do have
another. I have who do I have? I forget what it's Evermedia. That's the one that I have. I haven't tried any of the software though. I just think the software is terrible. Rick, a $5 donation. Thank you, my dude. You could ask a question though. That would be cool. You give me something to talk about because right now I'm running on fumes. I need more questions. People ask questions. Let's see. Ali A asks, in the Fractal Design R6, can I mod that adjustable front panel to mount 120 fans on to imitate the unreleased Leonly 011? I wouldn't do that because they're not going to have any ventilation, right? So if you mod it, you might be able to cut into it. That would be cool, but at the rear, you'd also have to mod that right panel too to get airflow being, to pull in air from the back or to push it out the back. So it really depends on how far down the rabbit hole you're willing to go to mod that case. Let's see here. I see a troll axing the troll. Let's see. Is it true that AMD delays the 2800X because of Intel's upcoming 8-core Coffee Lake CPU? Ayel Albaz, I'm not sure about either of those. Honestly, I have no clue. I don't really look too far into rumors. I just wait for official releases before I start speculating. I used to do rumors, but it's just hype. That's all that is. It's just hype without really solid facts, unless, again, we have the spec sheets, official spec sheets. So AMD could be doing that. I mean, look, Intel did that when AMD released Ryzen, right? Intel rushed the Z370 launch, the Coffee Lake launch. So, I mean, it's certainly possible. I'm not going to deny the possibility of that happening. What are your thoughts on... I just missed it. Let's see. I missed it. I'm so sorry. Sanjay Patel, talk about the Rode Video Micro. I already did. I have a dedicated video on that. Just watch the video. It's why it exists. Let's see. Someone asked thoughts on computer science degree. I have a video literally talking about like your engineering and computer science degrees. If you want to pursue any of those, I talk about my experiences in college with them in a dedicated video. So just do a quick search on my channel. Rusty asks, are you hyped from watching the ray trace Star Wars scene? I mean, it looked really cool, but like, the technology is cool. I read about ray tracing technology and like how it actually works on a mathematical level. It was really cool. I know Gamers Nexus just released a video about it, so he kind of beat me to it. But that's something that I would explain usually in like a Minute Science video or a crash course video. Basically, it uses in-game calculations and physics to determine light sources where they're bouncing off of objects, those exact angles, right? So you have literal light sources in these 3D spaces, and you're basically taking billions and billions of rays and calculating their angles of approaches. There's a lot of trigonometry and geometry involved, and because you have so many CUDA cores and so many stream processors in your graphics cards, they can usually do these calculations fairly quickly. But the more objects you throw in, the more dynamic the lighting scene, the more difficult it is to calculate. So yeah, it did look very cool though. I liked watching the Star Wars thing just because, I don't know, it's the next thing, right? It's the next step. It's how we improve graphics in-game, how we make them more real, which is always what we're going after. We're always trying to go after the most real thing, which is why I don't like Fortnite. Anyway, shots fired. Noghan says, opinion on thermal right Le Grand Macho. I don't even know what that is, my dude. Daniel Guthrie, if your I/O starts to malfunction and or if your computer does not come back up from sleep, is that a good indication of a bad CPU overclock? If your I/O starts to malfunction or if your computer does not come back up from sleep, that's strange. Sounds more like a software issue. You might have some software conflicts if your I/O are getting all funky and whatnot. More than likely a motherboard issue. It's not, CPUs don't really die very much. They really don't. So I'm just not sure if you really want to, call it a CPU issue. I tend to be very careful nowadays when I diagnose issues just because of my past with that NZXT thing. You live and you learn. If you'd asked me when it was going on for a second opinion, I would have told you the same thing, but it's very easy to be wrong in today's day and age, so be careful what you blame. It's probably not your CPU though, I will tell you that.
Troll McTrollington. My question would be, why are you such a cuck? Just kidding, Mr. Kent. Is your liquid tubing running? If so, better go and catch it. Kind of confused, but okay. Thank you for that 15 CAD donation. What is that worth, like $2.50 USD? No, I'm just kidding. I had to get you back, though. All right, we are scrolling down. VSky1 says, Greg would know the correct answer. I'm not qualified. Wait, what is this about? Scrolling up, scrolling up. Do you recommend selling my organs or other people's organs? No. You probably don't want to sell your organs, unless, I mean, you can donate organs if, you know, a family member or someone's dying. I'm an organ donor, I'll tell you that much. Like, I think it's a good way to give back, and you're not going to need your organs when you're dead. You know, I've never been that sentimental about my body when I'm dead, because I'm not going to be my body anymore, right? So I don't mind if I'm cremated, if I'm left on the side of the road, if I'm buried under a tree to give back to Mother Earth. Like, I don't really care. Some people get super touchy about stuff like that, but bury me in a box, I don't care. All right, let's see here. We have, if I use an SSD from my old laptop in my new PC, will it boot into Windows on my new PC? Maybe. It probably will. But you'll have performance degradation. Scroll back in this live stream. I talked about that a bit more earlier. Let's see. Troll McTrollington. SLI is useless. He continues his trolling. What's the word I'm looking for? His trolling tactics. That's it. Yeah, Rusty, if you love your organs and you probably don't want to sell them, don't sell your organs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's illegal, so don't do that. LMFAO, buried under a tree. Yeah, there are actually people who want that, right? They'll use trees as gravestones, apparently. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think it's a little sketchy, right? You know, because if some kid goes digging and sees a finger in the dirt, it's probably going to get freaked out. But it's good for the earth, right? All that nitrogen, it's good for the soil. So, do you have any ghost stories? No, but I've been scared a couple times, genuinely scared. You know when dogs and cats look at something, but then you find out that they're really looking at nothing you can actually see? That's when I get really freaked out, because dogs, they have that sense, right? They can pick up on stuff better than we can. And when my pups back at my parents' place, you know, when they start looking at stuff that doesn't exist in our world, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't, you know, we can't see with our naked eye, then I get goosebumps for sure. That's just, it's like that pseudoscience that I am really intrigued by, because it's just, you can't really prove it. I mean, you got proof out there, but there's no solid evidence, so it's always cool to dive into that stuff. It's just, it's a good pastime, you know. Hunter Johnson asks, do you have any knowledge of the Inwin 101, and would you know if I could fit a 360 mil rad plus 240 mil rad? I have no knowledge of Inwin 101. I don't work with Inwin. I've never received an Inwin case. I don't have an Inwin contact. I've never built an Inwin case. So there you go. Rick asks, have you ever been scammed on Craigslist? Saw the eBay vid recently. Okay, so this is actually pretty funny. Back in high school, I used to buy and sell cell phones all the time. That was how I would test out new phones, right? Because I would buy one for $200. I'd sell it for $200, maybe a little more if I could get the right buyer in my pocket. And then I would buy something else, and I would just experiment with phones. That was my thing before I got into PCs, was cell phones. And one of the potential sellers of a cell phone, it was actually an HTC One X, if you guys want to Google that, if you don't know what that is. There was the One S, which was good for T-Mobile, and then the One X was good for AT&T, I believe. And the One X was a really slim phone, had like one of the best screens at the time, like the best screen, I think, on the market at the time. And I told them... I told that person that I was interested. I showed up at the mall in my city, and he pulled the phone out, and the phone was just not a phone. I mean, it was a phone, but it was like really thick, and it was shaped to look like an HTC One X, but I knew it wasn't, just based on the other videos and pictures I'd seen online. So I was pretty confident. that this was like one of those knockoff Chinese brand phones, and the guy was trying to pass it off as a 1X. So I dodged a bullet there, but that was one of my closest potential scams on YouTube, was some dude trying to pass off a phone that wasn't really a phone. And I know he knew it. That's why he was trying to get rid of it, and that's why he was selling it so cheap. The Xbox One S and One X. Might be where it comes from, right? The HTC, wasn't HTC, is that affiliated with Microsoft? I feel like I should know this. I'm not sure. I think there's some kind of connection there. That's why HTC phones for the longest time had Windows on them. What did they call it? Windows OS or whatever. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, JZack R6, could I drop a PC part picker link and you could tell me, you know, what you think of the build? Yeah, but if you do that, everyone else is gonna probably want to do that. You get, I mean, dude, as long as your graphics card isn't $1,000 and your CPU is $100, you're gonna be perfectly fine. We got plenty of videos out there to help you. I don't think we need to hold your hand through it if you've done your research. And, I mean, I had videos and that was it when I built my first PC. I did have a friend. My friend kind of like pointed things out to me, but you know, it was only a couple things that I wasn't sure about, software-wise mainly. Dude, the new fake iPhones are really convincing now. I want to get my hands on one. I will light it up in my video. I can't wait. That'll be so fun. Homer has a hatch. What's up, Greg? I am just chilling here on this Sunday night. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We have, wow, Moving Frag. My dude, a $20 donation. You guys are paying for my lunch and then some. Thank you for that. His question, best place to sell a PC. Facebook Market, Craigslist, eBay. Background, I built a lot of computers as a hobby, and now I have like 4 of them and can't sell any of them. Any advice? I've been in this position before, actually, where you're sitting on inventory and you're trying to push it out so you can move on to other things. I totally get that. So if you are working on selling 3 of them, let's say, I would put all 3 of them on. You want to keep it local. I wouldn't do eBay because then you got to ship the PC and that just sucks. Take my word for it. And you know, if you want to ship it right, then you're going to pay a lot for it, and usually the buyer's not going to want to pay that extra premium. So I would stick with Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace because they're local. I would post all of them on both of those sites, and then maybe like Let Go or one of those other, you know, used to be startup Craigslist wannabe places that are actually pretty big now. As many places you can go, as many outlets as you can. I'm selling my car, you know, like I got the same thing at cars.com, Auto Trader, Craigslist, you know, wherever you can get it. That's basically it. The more exposure you give those things, the better your odds. Rusty says, you say lunch, I say a night out drinking. I'll tell you what, a lot of people have been doing that lately where I live. Spring break in Panama City is just, you want to blow your brains out. It is so bad. Oh my gosh. Hey Greg, do you consider it's time to upgrade from an i5 6600K overclocked to 4.8? No, stick with that at least till next generation. You're perfectly fine the way you are. GTX 1060 or GTX 1080. Budget of $2,500. If you're on a budget of $2,500, get a 1080. Straight up. Excuse me. All right, computer stores here do trades. That's true, but they probably won't give you face value for them. You'll get more value selling it aftermarket. Just like if you take your car into a dealer, they're gonna lowball you because they gotta resell it. Just buy it, you know, or just sell it to a private seller. DMN Dog asks again, do any enthusiast cases have SD memory card slots? My Aerocool P7C1 did. I don't know if you want to call it an enthusiast case, but I built a custom loop in it that had an SD card reader, so that might be one you want to check out. Kieran Sira asks, do you ever let a fan buy you a drink? I haven't yet. We could do something like that at well, I don't want to say Computex because I don't know many of you are going to go out to Taiwan for that event. The next time we're in Vegas, sure, if you want to do a fan meetup. Like, I'm not a really big YouTuber, I get it. Like, not many people are going to want to go hang out with me. They'll probably want to go hang out with the bigger guys. So I've never tried to make public announcements because then it'll just feel too forced and try-hardy. But I totally, you know, I totally would be up for it. And you never know. You buy me a drink one night, I buy you a drink the other night. No homo. We're good. It's all good, right? Rip stream. What's happening to the stream? Something wrong? Zach says rip stream. Oh, what's going on with that? Let's see. Kenny D. Why do Mobo manufacture my ITX with PS2 connection? Because PS2 connections are actually still used. I used to give them crap for that, but people still use PS2. They really do.
It's just old school, but the response time or the input lag, but it's so seamless, driverless usually, like legacy, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see, Nasir Ali Shah, you should though, is rather hang out with you. Oh, he'd rather hang out with me than PewDiePie. Really? That is an honor. I don't that I appreciate that. Here we go. Yeah, stream is fine for me. Thanks, JP Achilles. I was hoping stream was fine. I was kind of confused by why people were saying that. Let's see. Black Crow HQ. Is the NZXT Plus worth it for the lighting if I use ROG Strix Edition for the GPU? Sure, you can. Look, there are plenty of... I mean, you could buy a cable mod kit. A lot of motherboards nowadays have dedicated RGB headers. So unless you want to do some really fancy stuff with the Hue Plus, you could probably get by without it. Because it is a little expensive. You might be able to get a used one for cheaper. But they're good. I mean, I've used a couple of them. They're perfectly fine, and they definitely do the job they're intended to do. You, of course, get cam software as well if you're into them intruding on your system specs and whatnot. I pointed this out earlier. I don't know if you guys realize that what NZXT did with cam software was map all of your performance, right, in all of your games. If you're using cam overlays, anything like that to monitor FPS, CPU usage, GPU usage, they were using all that. They were storing it all in their database, and then now with BLD, their build service, they have all of your statistics on their website to show you what the best combinations of hardware are to get the desirable frame rate you want in the games you want. So, it's kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's really cool that they did that. It's smart, but at the same time, it's a little intrusive. And I'm sure it's written somewhere in the fine print. They know nobody reads the fine print. Most companies operate on that level. So I don't know. I don't know how many people know that, but it's just, that's what goes on a lot of times. A lot of companies that you click accept the terms of service for are storing your data, and they're using it in very unique and ingenious ways. Let's see. Homer has a hatch asks, have you ever thought about doing a Hackintosh build? That answer right now is no, because I have no use for one. I might in the future entertain it, but I would just end up disassembling it, flashing the drive, and then building something else with it later. Because Hackintosh, I mean, Hackintosh. Mac OS is great on my laptop. I love my MacBook, but it's just not a desktop thing for me. I would prefer Windows 10. As terrible as it is in some respects, I prefer that over Mac OS for my desktop needs. Kenny D, thank you for that $5 donation, my dude. Any news on the AMD X470 chipset? Should I wait for it? Well, I mean, the only news we have really is what we showed you guys at CES. It's going to take a while for these things to roll out. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be waiting. I don't have any news from motherboard vendors at this point. I haven't asked, frankly. I mean, you can wait for it. If you're talking about waiting for just the motherboard, you don't need to. But if you're talking about waiting for the motherboard and Ryzen Plus or Ryzen 2, whatever you want to call it, then you probably, you have a better case to wait. It really just comes down to if you see the value in purchasing now or purchasing later. I'm not you. I can't really answer that question in detail. Let's see. Did your engineering degree help you with what you love? I think you mean help you with what you love, Kareem. Kind of. I'm very honest about my degree. Like, it's a very niche thing. I learned a lot in just a general sense about mechanics and physics and whatnot, but I'm not a specialist by any means when it comes to car engines, right? And I can tell you how they work and stuff, but if you point to something in the engine, I'll probably know what it is, but I won't be able to tell you in detail how it works, just because I never went that in-depth on the mechanical side. Petroleum is a very specific concentration. I can tell you how to drill to any depth, how to keep production levels up. I can tell you all that because that's what I specialized in. But until I go into the field and actually start drilling or producing, I'm really just kind of sitting here with a degree that I'm not using, to be frank. School's fun in a sense because it's nice to know things, right? It's nice to learn and say, oh yeah, I know that. But it's also humbling because you realize that there's so much more out there that you don't know that you'll have to just really take the time to figure out later on. The Greatness, a $2 donation, my dude, thank you. A $1,500 gaming laptop. Is it worth it? Any recommendations? Depends on the laptop. Make sure you get a, most gaming laptops can have a true quad core, get the HQ processors, maybe even the 6-core ones, right? Those are starting to make their way into gaming laptops and similar chassis. So $1,500, I'm not sure how good of one you're going to get. Make sure you got at least 8 gigs of RAM, preferably 16. Make sure you got enough storage, at least a 1080p screen. 4K is a little overhyped because most $1,500 gaming laptops aren't going to handle 4K anything. And make sure it doesn't get too loud. I don't like really bulky gaming laptops either. The smaller, the thinner, the better. I would probably trade off a loud laptop for a thinner one. That's just me though. Let's see. We have Caden Judson. He asks, why do you think there is a lack of better MATX boards for Ryzen? Is it not that popular anymore? I mean, if we looked at the number of people who have ATX versus MATX versus ITX, I think it would look something like this. A really huge bar for ATX and EATX, whatever, extended and plus. And then for MATX, very small sliver, tiny. And then maybe a little bigger bar for ITX. A majority always purchase ATX. It's just a general convention, SLI support, other PCIe support, right, for capture cards and things like that. And then MATX, you still get that support, but then you're kind of left with this awkward space in your case unless you get a case specifically designed for MATX boards. And there are very few of those as well. So I think it just comes down to an aesthetic thing, and it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, why would you want an MATX, right? Like, what is an MATX going to offer you that an ATX is not? I get the ITX argument. It's a small form factor. You can throw that thing into a console shell, and there you go. But MATX, you really can't do that. So it's just a tougher argument for me. We are scrolling down to, I see Shahrukh Ali, a $2 donation. Thank you for that. Opinion on Hackintoshes. I hate to tell you this, dude, but I literally answered this like 10 minutes ago. I'm going to spare my other viewers who have been watching the whole time. Scroll back about 10 minutes, I talk about Hackintoshes and why I haven't built one just yet. Scrolling down again, we have KJW2804. Thank you for that that's pounds. Thank you for that £2 donation. My dude, is an i5 2500 a reasonable upgrade from an FX 6100? Depends on how much you're going to spend. I'm not sure. I haven't tested the 2500 with Ivy Bridge, right? But I'm pretty sure that you're going to see a frame rate jump, but how much of a jump, I'm not too sure. So it depends on how much you're going to spend on the new platform, because you'll have to swap motherboards and CPUs to do that. So maybe more of a side grade, not too sure. Let's see, we have the Nuclear Brony. Is the Windows 10 product key connected to the motherboard, or do I need a new key when I swap my boot SSD? And it's not connected to the motherboard in that way. It's all stored on your drive. So if you take the drive from one PC and pop it in another PC, you should have no problem with the activation. You might have something show up later. Every now and then I use keys and I'll still get like, you need to activate Windows every now and then. I'll just have to keep cycling through settings. Eventually it'll disappear. Just restart your PC to disappear. But Windows 10's finicky like that. But you will have performance degradation if you swap your drive from one PC to another, unless it's like the exact same platform, you're just upgrading CPUs or something. So keep that in mind. I talked about that earlier in the stream. Scroll back if you want to hear about it. Joe asked if I got married. Yes, I did. I got married to my beautiful wife, Lisa. How long ago was it? It wasn't too long ago, actually. And yeah, she's in Germany, which sucks. And she kind of has to go back. But we're working on stuff now, trying to figure out where we want to live and what we're going to do with our lives. It's pretty cool, though. It's like a blank slate. I have, let's see, Eddie Sawyers. Would you buy a gaming motherboard on eBay? Sure. I mean, I've bought used motherboards before. I bought refurbished motherboards before. They're perfectly fine in most cases. Do you listen to podcasts? If so, which ones? I don't, actually. I prefer video. I prefer seeing someone's face. It's just more relatable for me. Let's see. Ignacio Villavicen. Via Vicencio? Wow. Should I format my PC every so often? Not really, not unless it's getting really slow and you get a lot of programs bogging it down, but then you could just delete those programs, right? Also, startup programs in your task manager, turn some of those off. It'll make your PC boot up quicker. You won't have as much lag in the beginning. Let's see here. I am scrolling down some more. Troll McTrollington, really? Do you really? That's not the case. That's pretty inappropriate. You know what? You know what? There you go. Boom. You're in timeout. There you go. Is having a PC case necessary? I've got an ugly pre-built and can't afford to buy a case right now. And I can't stand looking at a banged up HP case. Is it safe to leave my components on top of a desk? Yeah. But you probably don't want to do that. I mean, if you spill anything on any of the components, if you touch any of the components, the moving fans, it's just a slippery slope, my dude. Let's see. Should I use a VPN for online gaming? Not unless you're worried about, like, you know, if you're one of those guys that has a tinfoil hat on every time he walks outside, you probably want to do that. But unless you're doing some really weird stuff when you're gaming, you probably don't need to be worried about it too much. VPNs are a good practice in general, but just for gaming, I think it's a little too much. Scrolling down. Will the 8900K be on the same chipset as the 8700K? I haven't even heard about that processor. I don't know where the heck, Golden Gamer, you're getting your info, dude, but I don't read rumors. I'm not sure if Intel's put out any official statement, but I don't look at stuff like that unless it's official. Let's see. Scrolling down. Ray Kano wants me to say his name, so there you go. Balha, hey man, I'm gonna build PC just for gaming. Do I need i5 or i7? Balha, I literally have a video answering this question. It was actually pretty recent, and then another video that's about a year old that answers the question as well. Those answers still apply now, so go back and watch those. Greg, please say my name. I already did. I forgot it's delayed. Sorry about that. Less than Trace. Is it good to buy a pre-built PC right now? I'm pretty sure you already know the answer to that question if you have to ask it. It's probably a good time. Venomous Teddy, Mr. Salazar, what are your interests outside of computer? I play guitar. I like playing soccer. I used to play a lot of sports when I was younger. Not so much anymore. I used to go to the gym a lot. I was a lot bigger than I am now. I'm trying to get back into that role. Let's see here. We have, yeah, X499. I'm pretty sure the chipset's going to change for that one. Power delivery issues and whatnot. We have Frank Dop27 gaming on APU 24. Is that, I don't know. Okay, I think you're answering someone else's question. Balha, literally type in i5 versus i7 for gaming. Like, that's all you got to do. I just shouldn't have to hold your hand through this process. Please answer my question, please. It's in my donation thing I did. Good God, I can't even say that. Sharirm.r. I can't see your question. So if you asked a question, I didn't see it. Let's see. Oh, I see it right here. Here we go. Can you make a video on eGPU, like a complete guide? eGPU? Sure, eventually. Do a cover song, maybe. I actually already have a video on the channel of me playing a little guitar. It's nothing fancy. I just put it up there because I was having some fun. Let's see. Hey, Greg, do you think it's too late to sell my RX 480 for $400 or more? That's, yeah, sure. I mean, you could try. If you really want to try, sure, why not? Thanks, Frank Dop27. Appreciate that. Cecil asks, would there be any benefit or is it possible to use the Vega cores on a Ryzen G processor for PhysX if you were to get a decent graphics card? Good question. I've seen this question before and I'm not too sure if that's possible. I know you can do it with discrete cards, but I don't, and you can set your CPU as a whole to calculate physics, but I don't know if you can separate the Vega cores from the actual. I haven't done my research for that. I'll have to check it out, but that would be an interesting topic. I don't think it would benefit you very much unless you're playing really, like, you know, PhysX intensive games, and
even then, you probably won't see too big a difference. Let's see. The Greatness, a $5 donation. My dude, thank you for that. Should I go with dual 1080 Ti's for 4K or just keep my single 1080 Ti I have and an i7 7700K? Depends on the 4K game. If you're going to max out 4K, you probably want two. But moderate, medium to high-ish settings in 4K at 60 hertz, one 1080 Ti is going to be plenty. Excuse me. You can get new 580s for under $350. Yeah, so you probably don't want to sell your RX 480 for $400. You can try, but you might not get what you want for it. Jeff Shoemaker. Hi, I've always watched your channel for about a couple years now, and I watch tech stuff. I started by not knowing anything about PCs, but today I've learned so much and built my own PC without a struggle. That, Jeff, is exactly why I like doing what I'm doing. Not only get to be my own boss, that's a huge perk, but seeing those kinds of testimonials, people who say, hey, your videos really helped me with this. It changed the way I looked at this topic. I now know more than I did before because of this video. That's super awesome. I love that. Like, that's exactly what I hope to hear from you guys when I release videos and answer questions like these in live stream. So thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. I am scrolling down some more. How familiar are you with quantum physics? Rusty, I already have a video kind of talking about quantum mechanics. Quantum physics in general is not something I really dove into in my physics classes. That's more or less, it's not, I mean, it's theoretical physics in the sense that, predicting electron paths and electron placements is not something that I studied very much in college, to be frank. But it is a very interesting subject. I know a lot about nuclear physics, but not very much about quantum mechanics, and it never piqued my interest the same way nuclear physics did. Because nuclear physics, right, we get an end result from that, right? We get nuclear processes we can see happen in real time. Quantum mechanics it's a very intangible thing. It's very theoretical. The math involved is just, it's really bad. I see someone else to ban from the channel. There you go. I'm sure he's gonna love me now. Let's see. How come you changed back to Science Studio? Asked Miguel C. I already answered that question a long time ago. A long time ago. I'm sorry you guys are probably getting frustrated that I'm not answering those questions that I already have videos for, but that's why the videos exist. If you want the answers to those questions, you gotta watch the videos. That's not what these live streams are for. These are for questions I haven't answered yet, or maybe like circumstantial things, like if you guys are having problems with PCs and whatnot. Let's see. Killer Phobia. Call me stupid, but it was thanks to you and your video that I was able to install an AIO. I mean, look, that's, I get it. I was there when I was a noob. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just like, do I use these screws? Do I use these screws? I had no idea. Like 3M, 6M, fan screws, PSU screws, or 6M screws, I think, too. They're just, it gets overwhelming at times. At this point, it's pretty straightforward, but in the beginning, it's definitely difficult. So, no shame in that, my dude. VXAL. Hey, going to be building a PC soon. Do you think I should go with an Intel i5 7600K or some sort of 8th gen Intel CPU? I'd just be doing 1080p gaming. 7600K is going to be plenty for 1080p gaming. You could go with an 8th gen CPU, but if you can get the 7600K for cheap, I would go with that. You can overclock it. 4 cores is plenty for gaming. In almost all situations. With an overclock, you're going to be perfectly fine, with few exceptions, maybe Battlefield 1. That's one most people like to point out. Cecil, I already answered your question, so I'm not sure why you're asking it again. Let's see here. We have a question from MA. 3 questions. That's a lot of questions. I'll answer one of them. What would you do with an extra PC, not streaming or storage server, and what do you want to see in future cases? MA, I literally have a video talking about future case designs. Like, I literally have a video on that. So scroll back like 10 or 15 videos. You guys are like showing up to live streams, but you're not watching all the videos I upload. You got to do that if you want these questions answered. I publish these videos so that you guys don't have to ask questions like these. So watch them. I'm not even telling you this so that I can get a fraction of a penny from your viewership. I'm telling you this so that we can, learn more quicker and not have to waste time answering these questions I've already answered in dedicated videos and these live streams. Let's see. Rowdy Gamer says, you have donation link up in the description of the video, but you're not taking donations. Yeah, I'm not really. I turned that off because it's just weird. Super chats are cool because super chats, like, you get something out of it. So if you want to donate, use super chat. It's the same freaking thing. Like, there's no point in keeping both on. It's stupid. Are you a full-time tuber, and what is your favorite YouTuber? Yes, Kareem, I'm a full-time tech tuber right now, and I am in school, though. I'm getting my master's in business admin right now. But I'm a full-time student and a full-time YouTuber. But yeah, that's it. Favorite YouTuber? I don't know. I watch a lot of them. It's difficult to pick one. How many cores do you really need for gameplay recording? I have a video on that. You can check it out. It's like I literally have videos on most of the stuff you guys are asking about. What Ryzen processor and GPU would you recommend for a modern streaming PC? I have a video on that too, but I'll tell you right now, at least an R5 CPU and at least a 1070. Joshua Smith says, I'm living in the Caribbean and I'm prioritizing components, and the clearing weight of a case is roughly $200 US, and I don't think it's worth it if I can protect my components. So you're asking if you should use a case or not? I'm not sure if that's your question. It's a weird question. You don't need a case, but you should be really careful if you don't use one. Sorry, my voice is getting really choppy right now. You know me talk too long, it's just like... Nasir just asked, engineering and business, why? Dude, because that's the best of both worlds. Nasir, if you go to look at any major tech company out there, I guarantee you a lot of those upper level management people have engineering degrees and then some sort of master's in business or finance or something along those lines. It is it's a deadly combo. It really is, because it tells companies that you can not only manage money and predict cash flows, but you can also work hands-on, to an extent at least, as much as you remember and retain from class, an extent to which you can work on the components for the people that you're usually looking over, right, that you're having to manage. So that's why. Let's see. Willie thinks I'm being really mean and rude. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Willie. I'm so sorry. If he thinks that's being mean and rude, guys, come on, are you serious? Azar Howard, hey brother, what's going on, my dude? Thanks for stopping by. How is his shirt so white? I think it's the lighting from the screen. I'm pretty sure you guys are just seeing a little reflection from the screen is all that is. Why did you change your channel name? I changed it a long time ago. I don't know why you're asking that now. I changed it a long time ago. I have a video talking about that. Golden Gamer, with what you have learned in engineering, is it physically possible to build a mech like Iron Giant or Mecha Godzilla? You would need a very hefty power source and some really heavy but efficient motors, or however else you think you're going to turn those joints. That's really all I can say. I mean, like, you got to power to weight thing, right? You got to worry about that. Are you going to have enough power in those motors to lift really heavy joints like an Iron Giant? Not too sure. Rusty Shackelford, have you ever thought about information security before you picked a degree? That's mad money. No, because my degree in petroleum engineering pays more than that. And that's why I pursued it. Granted, the energy sector right now is a little topsy-turvy, but that's, I mean, I'm getting my master's anyway right now, so I'm not too worried about entering the workforce at this point. But just do a quick Google search of petroleum engineering. You guys will see why I picked it. It's a really high-paying specialty. It's, you know, it's not just a mechanical engineering degree, right? We specialize in drilling, in production, and everything associated with that. And it's, I mean, it's hazardous, right? I mean, you guys hear the stories, and we get a lot of flack for it because when we do mess up, the spotlight's on us for a long time. But it's really cool. It's really fun. I enjoy the geology side of it as well. I love studying the Earth, how the Earth works, how it functions, why we're able to live on this planet. How old are you? I answered that earlier, Subi, but it is, I am 23. There's your answer. Let's see. Yeah. Intrex asked if I saw his super chat. Maybe I didn't answer it. Let's see. I don't see it. Oh, Intrex, go buy yourself an ice cream with this money. $2 Aussie, is that Australian dollars? Isn't that like $1 US? I might not even be able to buy an ice cream sandwich with that. Let's see. Ryan asked, will you do another Minute Science video like you used to do when you started YouTube? Ryan, I've uploaded Minute Science videos lately quite a bit. Oh, what you guys are thinking? Like, what's going on, you guys? Are you guys watching the videos? I upload Minute Science videos. I try to do at least one a week. If not, I'll do a crash course video, but they're very similar in design. One's just more in depth than the other. Kareem, did you ever want to review smartphones? I've reviewed smartphones on the channel. The Hidden Link. I'm into engineering and science. What field do you recommend a senior to pursue? The Hidden Link, I have a video talking about this. Should you consider an engineering degree? That would probably help you out. That I think is going to be something that you would find really useful. All right, I see you, Adarsh. Is the new H310 motherboard worth it for an 8400? Don't know. I haven't gotten my hands on an H310 yet, but I'm sure it's perfectly fine as long as it's got the features that you want. Then you'll probably be okay. But you got to look at the feature sets, right? And that's a subjective thing. I can't really answer that question for you beyond that. Let's see. Amin Ben, what are some key things to disable to improve performance for someone still using an HDD as a primary drive and can't afford an SSD? I'm actually going to make a video on that very soon, so stay tuned for that. The biggest issue is page filing, right? With hard drives, it can affect performance. So I want to talk a bit about that, why it affects performance in game, and what you can do to mitigate that. Gordon Evans, I start chiropractic school in September. Let me know if you need anything in 3 years. Awesome, dude. I will. Yeah. Seriously, I'll take you up on that. Have you ever tried streaming with your G85? Yes, Jason, I did that about 4 streams ago. And it was okay, but I don't think it's worth it. You're going to have that methylamine shipped my way soon. I need it for my next batch. Good old Walter White. I love seeing him in the chat. I see him in the comments of some videos too. I love it. I love the context. That's good play, Mr. Walter. I appreciate you stopping by. MRX Kick. Do you know of any good headphones, non-gaming, in a $100 range? Not really. I think my Bose headset, the noise-canceling Bose headset that I use for like travel, like plane rides and stuff, I'm pretty sure those are $200. I don't usually try to go as cheap as $100 because, in my opinion, the extra $100 justifies the better quality, usually the noise canceling ability, and the sound clarity, I guess is the one I should say. PCO11 dynamic video. Yes, I teased it, and it is coming soon. Rusty Shackelford. Hey, Greg, it's time to cook. That's right, it is time to cook. I'm frickin' hungry. What is your current smartphone? The LG V30. That's my current smartphone. Totally want some of that blue. I love you guys. I love how you guys know that context. That's awesome. Does RAM latency matter for 2400 megahertz? It's kind of an open-ended question, dude. In what scenario? I mean, cast latency does matter to an extent, but it matters more under certain circumstances. What is your favorite movie or show? Breaking Bad. That should have answered that question a little earlier. Maybe you didn't get the context. I get it. But yeah, Breaking Bad that's my show. Will you ever do a video comparing knives for unboxing, even though we know that McLovin's katana wins? Aw, you got me, Killer Phobia. I see what's going on. Where did McLovin go? He stopped by for like 10 minutes and then he bailed. This guy. What's your favorite song on guitar? I don't really know. To be honest. It's a tough question. It's like asking me like my favorite song of all time. My favorite band of all time is Breaking Benjamin. And then second is probably Bring Me the Horizon, My Darkest Days, when they were still a thing before the singer got stolen. Yeah, and then 3 Days Grace was never really the same. I miss Adam, I really do. Matthew's like, oh my god, he answered my question. Be diligent, I will get there, I'll try. Super Trooper, ha! Sup, Greg, can you please tell me what's wrong with my Logitech webcam? It keeps disconnecting and reconnecting itself, and I tried updating drivers and stuff. Please, I need help. Have you swapped USB ports? I gotta ask it just to make sure. Make sure there's nothing, there aren't any improper contacts in the USB connection itself from the camera. You might just have a faulty one. If you've updated drivers, I'm assuming you don't have anything conflicting. Try a different PC. Make sure it's not your PC and something software related with your PC. Maybe it's the motherboard. You never know. So isolate your variables. And if you've isolated everything and you cannot, conclude that it's anything else other than the camera, it's probably the camera. RMA it. Send me in 7980 XE. Thank you. Maybe. What's the best budget components right now for an $800 PC build? i5 or Ryzen 5, GTX 1060, 1050 Ti, around there. It's about the best you can do in this current market. Audio-Technica MX40s are about $80 and are pretty good. Yeah, Audio-Technicas are really good, Jacqueline. That's actually a good point. Audio-Technicas, I use an AT2035, great microphone. My brother has a noise-canceling headset from AT, and I'm pretty sure that was like around $100. So, and their noise canceling technology is actually pretty good too. Bose is a little overkill. You'll get that like weird pressure buildup in your ears when you use Bose's noise canceling headset for a while, or their technology is a little overbearing, but it works really well, especially on planes. What happens if you put a higher RAM speed than stock and a gaming laptop? Stock is 2133, but there was also an option for 2400. I'm wanting to go 2666, and in the BIOS there is an auto feature. You can do that. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you swap RAM, your BIOS is going to know you did, and it'll usually reset your BIOS, right? So you'll have complete stock settings, and any of your overclocks or calibrations, fan curves, any of that will be reset. So then you can go in and see how high you can go. Just troubleshoot it. Play with your cast latencies if you want to get really technical, your timings, but RAM overclocking is really a niche thing for most people. Good morning from South Africa. Thanks, Matthews. I appreciate you watching the stream this early. Almost time for Safari. Awesome page. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Gaming laptops seem like an option now rather than trying to build a new system. Yeah, I mean, to an extent you can make that case, sure. And there's the portability factor too. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's a topic for a future video. Audio-Technica is the best. It's cracking. Heck yeah, it's awesome. All right. I'm building a desktop soon. I need to know if an R5 1600 is better at streaming than an i5 8400 and or i3 8100. Come on, bruh. Evan, come on, bruh. 6 cores, 12 threads versus 4 cores, 4 threads, and 6 cores, 6 threads. I mean, just process of elimination, you could probably narrow down just to the R5 and the i5. And then from there, I have videos talking about the performance benefits with Ryzen 5 and i5 CPUs. So you can check that out if you want more info. But that's a topic that I literally have a dedicated video for because it's just very in-depth. Hello from Australia. AD Tick Obzit. I appreciate you watching from down under. Good to see you. Great videos, buddy. Thank you for your help online. Question: I play FPS and have a 27-inch Asus 1440p, 144 hertz 1080p screen. Is it worth it to upgrade? Wait, is it worth it to upgrade to 1440p 144 hertz? At 27 inches, 1080p and 1440p are going to look pretty similar. I don't think it's worth the upgrade unless you're going with like a 32-inch panel. And even then, you'd have to sit pretty close to your screen to discern 1440p from 1080. So you can look at optimal viewing distances for both. It's just going to really depend. Let's see, Sabarna Chakravarti, I guess I said that right? 300, whatever that is. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Do you still use the i3 7500K to cut open boxes, or have you given yourself an upgrade to that department? No, I still do. If you watch my Cooler Master, this case right here, the H500P mesh, watch that video. There's an Easter egg in there. How much is that donation worth in CAD? Any big difference between DDR3 and DDR4 RAM in gaming? Not really. Not too big a difference, to be completely honest. You probably won't notice it. Greetings from Sydney, Greg. Hardcore Hardware. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you stopping by, fellas. G'day from Australia. That Aussie guy. What's up, all the Australians hopping in the stream? I appreciate you guys. Or maybe you're just like now revealing yourself. It's pretty cool. I appreciate that. Ultimate battle between the i3 7350K and McLevin's Katana, please. We could probably chop it in half. If we swung hard enough, we definitely could. Jacksonville is killing me with this cold weather. Florida, please get your stuff together. Yep, it's cold here in Florida too. We're a little west of you guys. But it's freezing. Sorry about that. Okay, a couple more questions and we're going to call it quits. My voice is shot. I am hurting. I'm really hurting. Ooh. Ooh. All right, we have, let's see, I'll try to get people Did you hear about Intel's new 10-core, 20-thread i3 29 million K? I have not yet, but I'll be sure to Google that. What happened to McLevin? Homer, people ask this literally every live stream. He has a job, he has a life. He doesn't work for me. He's got to make money. So that's what he's doing. Have you ever had a problem with black screens after you have installed a new GPU from Lloyd Williams? Every now and then, yeah. Look, if your fans on your graphics card are turning, you're getting power to the card, then you might either be coming from your HD or from your discrete graphics, not discrete graphics, sorry, your integrated graphics, if you have integrated graphics on board. And if you're not, try all the other ports. And if that's still not working, then yeah, you're probably going to have to, I don't know, that's tough. I've run into that once, I think, and I just reset all my components and then it started working again. It's really difficult to diagnose those things. Okay, one more question. Here we go. Chandan Reddy, he says, can I leave a custom loop PC unattended for like 5 days a week? I'm scared that it'll leak because it'll be my first custom loop, but it must be the same feeling for every first timer, right? Look, let it run for 24 hours nonstop. Watch it for the first hour. If it leaks, it's going to leak usually within the first hour. But just let it run. You know, I wouldn't let it run overnight if you're not that confident about it. What I do is usually just play games on it. I let the loop heat up. You let those pipes stick to those O-rings. You probably won't have a leak. That's what I usually do. You got to warm up the system, you know, get it broken in, and then you'll be good. Ooh, we got an email. All right. Hui. You guys. All right. I hope you guys like the new format with the Streamlabs. It's just, I mean, it's pretty bare bones. I know, I get it, but I hope you guys enjoy at least the animations and the fact that you can see your chat in the live stream. I feel like this gives it a more personal touch so you guys can see yourselves on stream. Of course, you'll always have trolls come by. I just block them right away, so that's just a product of having the chat on stream, but at the same time, it encourages you guys to contribute and to stay active on the channel. Thanks, Robert McVeigh, for subscribing. Those have been popping up every now and then during the live stream. It's just another thing about Streamlabs that I'm very proud of at this point. I literally put this together in like an hour, so what you're seeing is an hour's worth of work. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching. He says, my God is boss. Bye, Greg. Love your videos, dude. Thank you, Miguel C. He says he likes the setup. VSky1, good night, Greg. Have a good one. Thanks. Thank you guys for watching, and I will, like I said, catch you in the next one. We'll do this next week again. I didn't do it last week because it was Easter here in the States and elsewhere, so I didn't do it then. I was spending time with family, but this week I'm good. I got some tests to study for, and then next week I will also be good. So stay tuned for next week's live stream. I'm going to start it again at around 9 p.m. CST. That is 10 p.m. EST, and depending on where you live, any other time possible. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I'll catch you in the next one.